Hi guys, very quickly, let's talk about why your dough doesn't rise. I mean, your puff puff, your donuts, and the likes, right? And even your bread. Why don't they rise? I know that there's someone out there that has been asking. I mean, I tried this recipe and it's coming out well for this person, yet it's not coming out well for me. Well, I have a solution to it, and yeah, let's just dive right into it. Now, the first reason why your dough doesn't rise is because of an inactive yeast. Okay, an inactive yeast. Now, there are two types of yeast. There is the instant dry yeast and there is the active dry yeast. Now, the instant dry yeast is the type of yeast that you can just, include in your dry ingredients. And then when you add in your sugar, your milk, your warm water and all that, it tends to rise. You don't need to proof it somewhere before adding it to your dough. But on the other hand, the active dry yeast, you have to proof it a little with sugar and warm water for about 5-10 minutes before you now add it to your dough. One of the ways to know if you are going to be using or buying the instant dry yeast or the active dry yeast is to ask the person you are buying from at the market, okay? Because these days now they tie the both of them in smaller pieces, right? So hence the reason why you just need to ask to be sure if you need to prove your yeast before you add it to your dough. So one of the major reasons why that happens, that's why your dough is not rising well, is because of a dead yeast. So you need to be very, very careful about the type of yeast you are using. And then from experience now, there was a time I bought a yeast, but it was late at night, so I didn't check it well. You understand? So apparently the yeast had this dark color, like it was darker than the normal color, a brown color that a yeast will have. So that also matters. So anytime you check your yeast and you see that it's already turning black or it's already having a dark color, then you should know that that yeast has been contaminated or it has been exposed or it is dead already, so your dough will not rise. Now, another reason why your dough doesn't rise is because you are adding plenty hot water to your dough. Especially those of us that like to make puff puff or likes to make donuts, right? Stop using too much hot water. Stop using hot water, like boiling hot water, to stop adding it to your pastry. It kills the yeast because there is a certain level of heat that the dough can actually take for it to respond to proofing your dough. So you need to be very, very careful. Let your water temperature be normal or a little bit hot. Not, it shouldn't be boiling hot water. It should be mediumly, hey, the water consistency should be room temperature hot. It shouldn't be too hot or boiling hot. If not, it's going to affect your dough. Now, if your water is also too cold, your yeast may turn out to be inactive. Hence the reason why you need that room temperature water in your dough, so that it's going to warm up and then it's going to proof your yeast. Okay, but if it is cold, then your yeast will eventually become inactive. Another reason why your dough is usually not proofed or why your dough doesn't rise is because you have a dense dough or an heavy dough. Try as much as possible to add enough water. Now, let me use puff puff as an example. Your dough doesn't have to be overly sticky before you know that, oh, this is going to proof well. No. Sometimes all you just need is a slightly sticky dough that you can actually scoop. So when you are done adding your water, you should be able to, scoop your dough. Okay, you should be able to grab your dough. It shouldn't be the type of dough that is going to be too runny and then you won't be able to grab it, and it shouldn't be too hard. If not, it's going to affect the proofing time. And then sometimes in itself, because the dough is too dense or too heavy, it may just rest on the yeast, so the yeast may not be able to find expression in your dough. Hence the reason why you need to be able to add enough water to proof your dough. Finally, try as much as possible to allow your dough to rest in a one place. Okay, sometimes we recommend that you put your dough in a preheated oven. It doesn't have to be overly hot. Okay, just put it in a preheated oven, or you just place it in somewhere really warm in your kitchen or in your store or somewhere really warm. Okay, just try as much as possible to do that. And once these instructions are being followed, I believe there's going to be a change. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and you're welcome. See you in the next one. Bye.